We are live betting for breakfast, our Wednesday night golf betting show. I'm Mark Drumheller here with Chris McGinnis and Dave Gleckner, brought to you by Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure that you like the YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Even if you're watching on a different platform, head over to YouTube, hit the like button, do us a favor there. Coming off a historic PGA Championship, right, to say the least, Phil Mickelson proved us all wrong last week, getting it done. I mean, getting it done. It was just an awesome event to see. So many storylines went into last week, right? You have Phil Mickelson, and then you have the Brooks Bryson stuff, which I want to dig into a little bit. Are we Team Brooks or Team Bryson, fellas?
Oh, it's Brooks, baby.
It's Brooks.
Yeah. It's Brooks. And it ain't even close.
No, it's Brooks in a runaway, man. But that was classic. I mean, the interview is just, I mean, it's all over the internet now. I'm sure everybody watching has saw it. But when I saw it, I was cracking up, man. I could not stop laughing. And I can't wait until these guys get paired together in a group.
Oh, yeah. And it's happening. Like, the U.S. Open might have fun with it even. You know, the British Open, like, someone's going to do it. And it'll be must-see TV. They won't say a word to each other. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, have we seen something like this in golf before where it's like two young stars like that? Like, just – I mean, they hate each other, right? Like, let's be honest. And it's funny because, like, Bryson tries to play it off like, oh, I'm in your head. Like it's not mutual. But I do feel like the animosity is very mutual.
I mean, for me, honestly, Tiger and Phil didn't really love each other early on. Maybe not to this extent, but, you had a lot of people digging at Tiger and were trying to go at him, and Tiger didn't care. Tiger didn't turn to this cool guy until the last 5-6 years. So it's something not exactly similar, but I could think of at least Phil, Tiger, maybe some other guys too. How about you, Chris? I'm trying to think of another one.
Guys who just don't like each other. I mean, look, there's always going to be little fights here and there. I just think, the social media generation, it's kind of spilling over into Instagram. It's spilling over into Twitter. And we get to see everything. And at the same time, while I actually do think it's genuine, I don't think it's made up at all with the prize money for popularity on the line. It doesn't hurt to kind of have a little bit of rivalry to get your social media points pumped up, does it?
No, I tell you what, he's right. And I just thought of another one. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Keegan Bradley and Miguel Angel Jimenez almost fought on the course one day.
Oh, wow.
You know Miguel Angel Jimenez? He's got the ponytail. He's like 55.
Yeah, he does the stretch routines.
Yeah. Yeah, him and Keegan a few years ago, they had to be held back. And then even, this year, I don't think Na and DJ really hit it off in that match play, remember?
Well, that was funny. Now, DJ hadn't been the same since.
He has.
He has not been the same DJ since, man. Yeah. I don't know if it's correlation or causation, but it's definitely – he was pissed. He was pissed for getting called out like that.
Yeah. So, there's always a little bit on the golf course, but this is kind of historic, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great for the fans. I think the storyline is awesome. Chris, I think, brings up an excellent point. Is this probably happened a lot in the past, right? But we just didn't have, social media to kind of put the spotlight on it. And now it's like, they tweet each other and all of a sudden it's trending and boom, boom, boom. So it is hysterical stuff, man. But I love it. I love it, and I can't wait to see more. I'm glad that Brooks is healthy now. It looks like he's back, has his form back. Because I think it's going to be, a really interesting rest of the year with these two guys.
It is, and I'll tell you why I'm Team Brooks. And listen, I told a story once. We went out to Aronimink, me and my oldest son. He was about 9 at the time, and I thought Bryson was a complete chief. Walks by him on the end of a green, slaps him 5, gives him a ball. I was like, oh, man, he's all right. But then just the theatric, I tried to buy into him. But this bringing protractors out there, playing slow play, the greens books, the fire ants, the trying to fight a cameraman last year. He's fake news, man. He's a bad dude. And, whatever you see on the camera is all fake because they tell him you got to build this, image. He's just a bad dude. And Brooks don't give two you-know-whats, right? I'm okay with that. He's out there to win tournaments, not to make friends.
Yeah, very genuine. Very genuine. But
Yeah.
it could be fireworks, man. And I think it's good, and I think it's good for golf. Like, I think it's to have these storylines. Obviously these guys don't like each other. I think it's great, man. I do. I can't get enough of it. Hey, I mean, Dave, how would you line it? Brooks versus. I want to see 1-on-1 Brooks and Bryson. 1-on-1.
Well,
On the course.
If Brooks is healthy, I want Brooks.
Oh yeah, you're talking golf game?
Yeah, I think that's what he means. Or do you mean
line
fighting?
it both, right?
I thought
you want to line a fair one?
I got Brooks, no doubt, in the fight in a good one-on-one competition. Golf. Yeah, I got Brooks because I just think he's that type that needs that spotlight.
Competitive, yeah.
Yeah.
He needs that challenge.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got them both. Yep.
I mean, their petty battle aside, it's the healthier Brooks gets, the more intriguing every tournament gets. He's still one of the top players in the game, and we're talking about majors. He's always around. He's always around in these majors. He's just an excellent competitor. So that's good for golf. If these guys want to bicker on Twitter and fight about cleats and whatever they're doing, that's fun too.
Putting and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, before we get on to Charles Schwab Challenge, Adam checking in. Here he is. Big win, Phil. And he's not lying, Adam. I did not take Phil seriously this weekend. Adam called it top 20. I put it on Twitter the other day. He was like, hey, what do you think about Phil top 20? And I'm like, no way. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. But it paid off. It paid out, man. Phil got it done, and good for him.
Yeah, Adam, I'll say first and foremost, sorry. I mean, that was an awesome pick. You threw a few at us, and we weren't on the DJ and some other guys, but you threw Phil, and Phil can make up for the week I had last week. If I just threw $1 on Phil, I would have probably made up for all my losses. So great pick. Really, way to throw a name out there that was really deep into the cushion there, because that's what the PGA does. Anybody's in play. So no, I got to give you props, man. Good stuff. Yo, the shades 100. Are coming. Yo, Chris.
Yeah, he's calling you out for talking on Phil. Hysterical stuff, man.
Boom.
Got to put them shades on so you can see Phil coming this week. Dave.
I was just gonna make fun of myself. I mean, there are two really good things happened last week. One is we actually got to all watch Phil win another major, which is just an amazing experience as a golf fan and for him, obviously. But the other was I happened to just have a bad Wednesday and fall asleep and miss the show. And so I didn't have to give my picks. So I'd have to come in this week a big loser because none of the picks I would have given you would have helped whatsoever. That tournament went complete opposite of what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that went completely sideways. I had a very rough weekend as well. I think I hit one. Patrick Reed was the only top 20 that came through for me. So I was 1 of 4 in the top 20s. No outrights. Didn't get any of the outrights. Didn't hit, and I didn't bet anything live because I was traveling, so I wasn't really following, so I wasn't just going to fire off without watching it. And I paid the price, man. It took a little bath this weekend, but we're gonna readjust the ledger, starting tomorrow with this Charles Schwab Challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Not, Berger just was disinterested over the weekend. I think the opening 79 really put him back a step. He had to fight to make the cut. Cam Smith, I thought, was in some prime position going the weekend, even, 6-7 shots off the lead, gets a birdie or two on Saturday, and then just goes south. And especially in those wins, I really thought he was going to play a lot better. And then only one to hit, really, Charlie Hoffman, dialed in the top 30. He's just that kind of guy. He's playing that great golf. Lucky to get that to save the card a little bit. But you're right. It was a tough weekend. And just Bailey. That was it's great golf. A lot of people surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Win's a big factor, tough course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough on the sportsbook account, not going to lie. But, hey, listen, we don't get it right every single week. We're back for more this weekend with the Charles Schwab Challenge. And we got a question in here about Cam Champ. What do we think about Cameron Champ this weekend at the Charles Schwab Challenge? Let's start it off with the people.
Well, my biggest reason I'm not big on Cam Champ is because this course relies on putting. 5 of the last 7 winners were top, 5 in the strokes gained putting category. If we know what Cam Champ's weakness is, it's putting. This isn't, just bombing all around the course, hit your irons and these are one of the smallest greens on the whole PGA Tour. Cam's short game is notably bad. So he scares me a little. I couldn't probably dial in some money on him, to win it. But could I see him probably, showing up like he did the PGA out in Harding Park last year and competing for a top 10, top 20? Yes, possibly. I just think the putting in the end will hold him back.
Yeah, he is down the list. He's plus 450 for top 20, and where his game's at, I think it's difficult. I mean, there's value there, but I don't think that wouldn't be a play that I'd be making this weekend.
All right, definitely. I'm going to side with you guys, but let's talk about the course, right, Dave? You kind of touched on it a little bit. Colonial, right? We're looking at what, par 70, 7,200 looks like. Average green size, kind of small. So tell us a little bit about the course and, some of the key metrics that we're looking at when we're profiling these players.
Yeah, Colonial's a cool course. One thing I'll say, this is where the PGA kind of reopened last year. This is where, you got your first, lick of golf again. It was really exciting. They play down in Fort Worth, Texas. This is a classic golfers course. They've hosted some major events, including LPGA and PGA Championship. It's known as, they coined the term Hogan's Alley because Ben Hogan won here 5 times. So it's one of those just really cool classic courses. A lot of dog legs. So this isn't, this is a thinker's course. You got to be a little bit of an artist, shape the ball. 84 bunkers throughout the course with 4 water hazards. Like you mentioned earlier, Drums, par 70. 7,200 yards, not very long, but it's not going to let you to just rip it or grip it and rip it. So you got to think out there. You got to play a little bit. And that's what everybody loves about this course. There's years that, the scoring has been tough if the wind blows. But then 2 of the last 3 years, you've seen minus 20, 21 wins. So you've seen some 61s. Nah shot at 61 on round 4 to win it back in 2018 or 19. So I love this. I love this tournament. I love this course. It really brings out a lot of different golf. And I think everybody's in play. The last point I'll make on this, it's an invitational. Only 120, 121 golfers are invited to the course this weekend. So a little smaller field. You see 156 and some, extras with the sponsorship. So it's a smaller field. It's a good field. And it's a smaller course, and it's a good course.
Yeah, and Mark, you made a good point. You mentioned that the greens are a bit smaller. Interesting, despite being smaller than average, landing greens on this course falls about into the middle of the pack. So while the greens are a little bit small, they're not necessarily overly difficult to hit and to land. But that being said, I think the type of golfers I'm looking at this weekend are guys who are going to gain strokes, tee to green, guys who can approach the green, land it, and get themselves in putting position. These are the kind of guys that I'm going to be, highlighting when we make our picks.
Yeah, the putting is a key theme I keep hearing from everybody about this course, and that and driving accuracy, right? Just because of kind of the shape of the course, you want to make sure that you're not really putting yourself in a serious advantageous position from the jump. Putting though is something that I keep hearing, and it makes it very difficult for us, handicapping this event because putting is obviously the most volatile thing, right?
It is. It's the most unpredictable, volatile thing. You're right. I mean, you can go like these are bent grass greens. They don't see these greens a lot. They see Poana and they say Bermuda. Bent grass, they get down to Texas. So they did play it a couple of weeks ago, but it is very volatile. I think that's a great point.
All right. Well, let's get into these picks. Chris, do you have something or?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. All right. I apologize. Let's get into our picks, man. Me personally, I have, 2 outright plays. I have 3 top 20 plays, and I have a matchup. I had a real difficult time kind of zeroing in, was trying to figure out, who outside of my top 2. I was trying to get the 3 outrights. I felt like I was forcing it. There were a lot of guys I liked, but not a ton of guys that I love. Dave, did you have the similar challenges when you were putting together your card?
I did. I mean, there, like you said, a lot of guys I like, and I think this week, I mean, it's going to be tough to pick a winner. Let's talk about the last 3. Daniel Berger, very classic ball striker, won. Kevin Na, classic ball striker, good putter, won in 19, and Justin Rose won in 18. Again, a classic ball striker, good putter when he's on. So those are the kind of stats. Looking at the stroke gain approach, looking at the good putting and bogey avoidance. Those are kind of what I'm looking at. It's guys, you can win. You could go deep on this one. I'm not looking at the top couple, but there's a wide range of people that can win this one. It's tough. I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Going to be a lot of fun. Chris, let's start with you. I'm going to let you lead things off with the breakfast ball. Give us your best play. We'll start from the jump. Who do you like? You can go from long shot to favorite or favorite to long shot, however you want to back it out. But give us one that you really got your eye on this weekend.
Yeah, so there's two players I'll probably be putting, the most on, and they're not exactly favorites because they're also not very far down the list. I wouldn't exactly call them value plays. Look, as everyone knows, this field isn't loaded with all of the big stars. There are some nice names, there are some really good golfers, but it's not a star-studded, lineup out there this week. So the one guy I'm really liking this week, and he comes up just about every tournament. We might not have said his name for a while because he hasn't come through. And as the theme as always is, we know he's going to come through eventually, and that's Tony Finau. He's plus 2,200. This will be his sixth appearance at the Colonial. He's never missed the cut of this tournament, and he was the runner-up in 2019. And like I said, I think he's due for a win, and he's much more likely to get it in a field that isn't as loaded, as some of these other top tournaments. So I really like him this week. His scoring average on the course is just under 69. I think it's 68.75, something like that. And we know we can step on the drive. We know we can hit it pretty far too. So it's a shorter course. So when the holes where he can take advantage of distance, he's the type of guy who can do it. And I think Tony's is gonna show up this weekend.
Hey, I'm gonna clap to that. I got Tony in one of my three that I'm playing for winning too. Chris, I really like him this week. He led after the first round of 2019. As we know, he finished second, as you talked about a little bit. He's 15th in strokes gained approach. He actually plays very, very well on par 70s, and he's a respectable 45th in strokes gained putting on bent grass greens in the last 36 rounds. So he brings a lot to the table that you're going to like. His scoring average at Colonial 68 on the par 70. So you're already guaranteed, like, he's going to throw up at least 2 or 3 each day. And depending on how it blows, Tony's due. And I think he's better in these shorter fields. Against 120, I think it's a better matchup for Tony. So I really like that play. I'm with you.
I'm with you. And honestly, Tony's biggest thing is he's so consistent. He's always around. It's just been closing, right? It's been finishing on a Sunday. And if he's in contention, he's walking down the course, last group in on Sunday. Hopefully he's not maybe next to a Jordan or next to a Corner, next to a Colin or next to a Justin, and he can just take a win. He can just actually get it done.
And he played 3 under on the weekend in Kiowa. This course actually sets up for the fade, so he's a power fader. There's just a lot of things that this matches Tony's game. Like you said, never missed the cut, 5 for 5, never been outside top 34, 2 top 10s, a lot to like.
Absolutely.
Tony Finau, man. I'll tell you what, I got FOMO already. I don't have nothing on Finau now. If he comes out the gate round 1 leader, I'm going to be very distraught. I might have to, go live again to give repentance on Finau. But, yeah, it makes a ton of sense, man. Love him in this spot. Another guy who's never missed the cut that I'm on, I got him at the same price, plus 2,200, 22-1. I got a minus 110. To hit the top 20, and that's Patrick Reed. Was on him last week. He's the only one that came through for me. I'm going in with him again here. Listen, tied for 7th last year. He's never missed the cut at the event. He finished strong last weekend at the PGA Championship, was 5 under over the weekend. Nobody shot better over the weekend than Patrick Reed. Small greens, don't worry me with Reed. He's a guy that can kind of play it from anywhere, never backs down. I think he's going to come up big again here. So plus 2,200, I jumped on it. Patrick Reed, 22-1. Sign me up.
Nice, brother. Yeah, I'm glad you take him. All right, you got him.
You don't like him, man, but I tell you, man, he catch. I like the catch.
I
don't have to eat dinner with the guy.
Yeah, there's a story about Reed. He plays better on harder courses, and he also plays better on 72s. So it's a mix. You never know. And but I like putting, and what his putter is.
Mm-hmm.
So good pick. I guess I'll pop one here and see if you guys are trending with me. Like I said, I got 3 total winners for this one. They're all right in that mid-range. I didn't end up going too far each way. But my next one is Colin Morikawa. You can get him at different places, 1,500, 1,400, about the 3rd or 4th best odds. He's only showed up here once, but it was last year, and he lost in a playoff to Daniel Berger when he burned a 5-footer off the rim. And it was this is a classic course for him. Again, he plays a fade. He is number 1 in the PGA in strokes gained approach. This is that type of course for him. I just like a lot of things about Colin Morikawa, and I especially like how he finished last week. He's starting to get back on the radar. He finished in the top 10 last week at Kiowa, coming here where he finished second and lost in a playoff. I like Morikawa a lot here. I think he's a horse for the course, even though only playing here once. Really, really like his chances this weekend, especially the odds. The odds are pretty nice.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that I really thought long and hard about, and I'm like, am I going to pull the trigger here? Am I not? Because it does seem like the perfect spot for him to come up big again. Chris, what's your thoughts on Morikawa, and who else do you got on the card?
I always like Morikawa. Every tournament, I want to pick Colin Morikawa. I love his game. I tend to maybe shy away from guys like Morikawa and Justin Thomas when we're, again, like this is such we're so bookended by the PGA tournament and the US Open. I sometimes think these guys jump into these tournaments and they come here to win, but they also may be there to work on some things and try some things out with such a big tournament only a few weeks away. So that's the only thing that kept away from Colin Morikawa. I think the guy can win a tournament anytime he tees it up. But my only other winner that I'm even looking at this weekend is Joaquin Niemann. Or is it Nyman? I always mess up his last name. But look, Joaquin. So he's just like Feno. He's even at 2,200 plus 2,200 plus 2,500, depending on where you're looking. I have him at plus 2,500. First, he's an excellent bent crash player, and he ranks 20th in approach over the last 6 tournaments. I'm looking a lot, like I said, I'm looking very strongly at guys who are strong for the approach. And on top of that, he basically never loses strokes with his irons. He's an excellent iron player. And then finally, he plays well on short courses, like the Colonial. He had a top 5 at the RBC Heritage, and he's the second at the Sony Open. I think this course sets up nice for him. Again, with a weaker field, he might be able to get himself a win this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely a good one. Definitely a good one. The next one I have is chalky, back to the well again with Jordan Spieth. And it's just, he didn't come through for me last weekend, fell just outside the top 30. But I expect him to bounce back. I got him at 10-1. I have him plus 125 to make the top 10. And like I said, despite last weekend's performance, still 7 top 10s in the last 10 tournaments. The putter's coming. Since 2013, listen to this stat, right? This is courtesy of Ron Mintz. He's made 37 putts from 20 feet plus on this course, which is 15 more than any other player. He's never missed the cut at Colonial. He's finished second, first, second, 3 years in a row from 2015 to 2017. He was top 15 last year, right? And he wasn't even at his best last year. I think he could be in the best form of his career right now. And, despite him not delivering for me last weekend, I'm going to give him another chance, and I'm going back to the well with Jordan Spieth because I think he bounces back. I just can't see the way this guy's playing for him to really not contend and be in this thing in the long run when we get to Sunday.
Home course again, too, kind of, right? I mean,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's everything to love with Jordan. Was so bad on the greens last week, and you know how good he is putting around the green. It was just. It blew everyone's mind how bad. Like these guys, like Rory came in putting great, and then he couldn't make a putt from anywhere. Jordan was the same, and that cost them the tournament. So I think you're getting a little bit of good value. Some people might be a little down on his number right now, so I don't hate it.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, it's still. I just think that I'm going to go back to him one more time. I just think that he improves here, and I think that this is kind of the type of event where he can really gear up, right? We saw him, at Valero when, the field wasn't, star-studded, right? He kind of takes advantage of those opportunities. So I expect to see much of the same this weekend at a Jordan Spieth. The number, it's, 10-1, not great odds, right? Had to take him top 10 to get plus money. But I do expect him to be there. He has the track record for the course. And that's really the most important thing. He's playing well, knows the course, has dominated the course before. So there's everything kind of points in the direction of Jordan Spieth for me. I'm not afraid to take the layup. If they're going to give me the layup, I'm going to take the layup.
Yeah, I like it. All right, I'm going to close out with my last one that I'm playing for some win shares. Hey, guys, it's time. I'm telling you, it's time. This is like Sam Burns, but instead it's a Canadian. Corey Connors. Like, listen, leading after round one at the PGA Kiowa. This guy is constantly, just at the top of the leaderboard. He had a rough Friday, even a rougher Saturday, came back a little Sunday. But, here's a guy, fourth in strokes gained approach. He's also putting very well this year. He's bogey avoidance. Looking at him, which is another thing that I really like. He's sitting there at 27th in par 4 scoring. He's tied for 19th overall, which this is loaded with par 4s being down to par 70. You're getting really good value in him. You can get 20-1 a lot of places. Corey Connors, this guy's just been hitting the ball. He's been consistent. Give me a guy, and he's good on shorter courses too. He has a track record of playing very well on shorter courses. I like Corey Connors this week. I'm definitely playing a little bit of money on him.
Corey Connors, man, not afraid of the putter, huh? We're loading up on Corey Connors. Listen, I could see it. I could definitely see Corey Connors getting it done this weekend. That was another guy that I looked at. I looked hard at him, looked hard at Morikawa, looked hard at a couple other people, including the guy I'm going to talk about next, who I don't have an outright play on, but I do have a top 20 play on, and that's Gary Woodland. And I got it a plus 200, so 2-1 to make the top 20. Listen, he was 5th at the Wells, right? And, he was right in the mix until he imploded Sunday with the 77. But he was 8th after Thursday, and he's just kind of outside the top 20 on Friday and Saturday. Then everything went crazy Sunday. I just think he kind of brushes that off and gets right back to it. If you look at his last 5 events, right, he's got one top 5, and then he has another top 6 finish at Valero. Good iron play. I think that's going to fit this course. 1.53 strokes gained approach per round last week. So I think he's in great form. He's playing well. We just gotta hope the implosion doesn't come again. And I think I can cash into this plus 200 ticket with a top 20 with Gary Woodland.
Chris, I'm just going to jump in real fast. That's one of my top 20 plays as well, Drums. I'm big into this pick. He was 9th last year at this event. Like you said, 6th at the Valero, which was played in Texas just a few weeks ago. Why did he implode last week? The driver. The driver was god-awful. This is a course that he can get around on with some long irons off the tee, shorter clubs like a 3-wood, 5-wood, even a hybrid. And we know that's how Gary Woodland won the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. He's been fantastic with the irons. I really love him in the top 20. Plus 200, I think, is a steal. This guy's playing a lot better lately, and it's time to get him now before those odds start. Good,
Chris. You got FOMO on G-dubs or what?
Oh, I love Gary Woodland. I always have fun with Gary Woodland. He's a good dude. I want to see him succeed. But yeah, that 77 was tough to swallow.
Man.
I gotta skip right by him on the.
You need 3 fingers. You need to fill it up with 3 fingers after 77.
You do. Yeah, when I tell you who my top 20 player is, though, you're gonna be happy that you took Woodland because I don't have a great reason for picking this guy. All right, so I guess I'll go. So, I'm thinking about the tournament last week. Obviously, Mickelson kind of comes out of nowhere and wins, and what a great story. But you also looked on the leaderboard, and a guy like Harry Higgs, the big rig, comes in tied for 4th. Where'd that come from, right? The entire thing has been crazy. So I was thinking about this tournament, trying to look for a player who may just pop up and play the type of golf he's capable of. And at the end of the day, I settled on Kevin Kisner. And there's no real great reason to pick him other than I believe in his talent and I believe in his golf game. He's missed the cut just about every tournament in the past 5 weeks, and he hasn't had a top 20 in a long time. But like he candidly said in an interview, I keep coming to these tournaments because you pay a lot to finish in 20th place, and he just hasn't been there yet. So I think with the U.S. Open coming, look, he's a prideful guy, he's a quirky guy, he's a funny guy. He doesn't come to every tournament to win, and he clearly is admitted to that. But I just think this course may set up for a chance for him to not win, not be in the top 10, but just play some good golf and somehow slide into that top 20. And it's plus 300. It's amazing value.
Kisner. Definitely heard that name, man. You know what? Is it around plus 300?
Plus 300 for a top 20. Yep.
Yeah, that might not be bad, dude. Let's hope he sneaks in for sure.
Yeah. And admittedly, it was the number that brought me to Kevin Kisner.
Yeah. I thought you were going with Harry Higgs, man. I thought when Harry Higgs got up to the top of the leaderboard, I thought of you, and I was like, dude, it could be Higgs time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Kisner guy. It's just like Chris, like while the 77 kills you for Woodland. Kisner's recent form, I don't get it. So, but sometimes those are the best times. Sometimes those are best times, right? Mm-hmm. My favorite, he's like, this ain't no hobby. He just told the 4-play pros. He's out there winning cash. So, when he's at that game in form, he's really tough to beat and a great putter too. So at this course, again, putting very important. Yeah, I got another top 20 drums. I'm going to the well. Like you like to do, like I like to do. I'm going to Charlie Hoffman, plus 175. He's done me very well in these top 20 situations. Again, hit last week. Looking at Hoffman, he was 6. He's 7 out of his last 9 in the top 20 now after last week, and 4 in a row. And he's going back to a course that he's had success at, 11 cuts in 12 appearances. So he'll be there for the weekend. You just got to wait for him to hit a couple shots on Sunday and sneak in that top 20 and get that cash. You're looking at plus 175, a guy that is a horse for the course, a guy that's been playing well, a guy that is great with his irons. He's number 9 strokes gain approach. All the things I like. Charlie Hoffman, I'm riding that horse. Yep.
Love it, dude. Love it. Hoffman's someone that a lot of people have targeted, man. I think he's in for a big weekend as well. I have a matchup that I'm playing. Actually, I got this off Rick Run Good, which, he did an excellent job of breaking it down. And it's Will Z over Ryan Palmer. Got it at minus 136. Will Z's a guy that, everybody's just waiting to pop, right? Like, we're just waiting for Will Z to win. Nobody's really playing better, with their irons than Will Z. And it's going to happen eventually. I just couldn't play him outright to win, but I wanted to get a little piece, and I think that this makes perfect sense. Him up against Palmer, I'll pay the minus 136. Rick Run Good broke it down. He's pretty much been better everywhere all year than Palmer, so should continue to be dominant here on this course. So I like it. Will Z, man, you think I'm in good shape or what?
Oh, yeah. And I like Palmer. He plays well here, but Will Z, again, finished in the top 10 last week, I believe. He finished at minus 1. Overall, very consistent game last week and didn't really, light it up, but didn't blow it up. I think that's what he needed. Now he's sitting there at 2 majors into the season and raking in the cash. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I'm going to play it.
Awesome. Let's all get in. You getting in too, Chris? Let's get some Will Z money on there.
I'm always in on Zalatoris. I love him too.
A little splash out a little bit. So anyone else got any other plays, any props, anything? What else do we got cooking on the card?
I got one if Chris doesn't. All right.
I don't.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to Chris as well a little bit too. Like we like to go. And I'm going to take Joaquin minus the 125 for his matchup in this tournament versus Scotty Scheffler. Again, you look at the only thing that Scheffler kind of does better than him here is par 4 scoring, but it's not by a lot. I think Scheffler's 6th overall, Nyman's 11th, but everything else in the key categories I was looking at, Nyman blows him away. And like Chris does, he's already broken down the stats. I think Scheffler might be a little bit I don't want to say gas, but I just think, he's had a lot of contention, a lot of games he's been in recently, and he's going back to his hometown again. He didn't perform like we wanted him to back at the Valero. And I like Nyman. He's just sneaky. He's solid. He's a great putter. Hits the cut.
Boom it, man.
125, I think, is a good matchup number here. I do think they both make the cut, and you'll have to play this through the weekend. But I like Nyman in this matchup.
Nice.
I love it too, man. I think Scheffler almost gets a little too much credit for playing in Texas. You know what I mean? It's I think people automatically associate it with it. But like I said, I've backed him in this spot before. Been hey, he knows the course. He should be fine. And it doesn't seem like he ever delivers. So I'm not a big Scheffler fan, man. I think I'm off him for good. He might be on the no bet list. He's got to
put him in the bathroom. Put him in the bathroom.
Put him in the bathroom. Get him out of here. Put him in the black book. Right? I got a black book. That's what you should be able to do. You have Facebook, and you can block people you don't like. You should be able to block people in your sportsbook app. I block Scheffler, so that way it's
you can't even see his name or his odds.
It just doesn't even come up. It's it's illegal. You know what I mean? You can't see the odds. Don't worry about it. It's he's not even there. The matchup just has the one guy 0 odds. Hey, he's playing nobody.
I like it.
Where's our boy with the Mickelson? He got anything for us this week?
Man, I think
Who do you like?
you know he's going to roll out like CP Pan or something like that.
Yeah, I'm betting it. Whatever he wants.
I'll tell you what, though. Let's talk about these nationality props. That's always fun before we wrap things up, because I was just perusing through, right? And I noticed that a name of a guy who I think has been playing better, and I think we could see pop this weekend. And that's Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace right now, the favorite for the top European player is Justin Rose, and I think that's because of the course history, right? And Matt Wallace, second shortest odds at plus 550 to be the top European player. So you got some other guys under him. You got Garcia, you got Knox, Poulter, Westwood, that could be in the mix with that. But I think Matt Wallace at plus 550, not so bad. Now I'm looking at it.
F Matt Wallace.
You don't like him?
No, I do. I took him as the best Englishman last week, and he just sat there like he didn't even care. Justin Rose is going out there shooting like 6 under on Sunday to beat him, and I'm like, come on, Matt. But no, I think Matt's a great selection in this. If you know how it goes, you miss the cut, you win a tournament. You don't play so well. It comes. It's ebbs and flows. But no, I like that pick a lot. I'm just mad at him from last week, but now I'm gonna have to play him because you did.
Yeah, well, that's what you do. They don't. You know what? They don't deliver. You send them right back out there to make your money. Yes. Get back out there. Don't come back until I got some more money in my sportsbook account. And plus 550, man. We're like 5.5 to 1. The odds I think are good, and I think it's a good spot because you have a guy, Justin Rose, up top, who is overvalued. And I think because of course history, that's a favorite when you kind of go through these, fun props. You kind of want to look at the favorite that you really don't believe in, right? It's almost like when you're doing NFL futures, you look at the division leader that you think could fall off. And you kind of take the same approach here. And Justin Rose, I think, is right for the picking, man. So I like Matt Wallace here, plus 550. I might put a little splash on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not just course history. It's how he finished the Kiowa, right? Everybody's probably a little pumped on Justin Rose, and we've talked about it. The guy's got old man bones. I don't know if he can do it 2 weeks in a row. And plus, there was no pressure on him, right? There was he shot that Sunday round and creaked up the scoreboard, but he was plus 4 going into the last round. Nobody cared.
Right. They're all watching Phil.
I don't have a lot of trust in Rose. I
don't either. Not right now. Nope.
All right, so I'm putting that one in. Matt Wallace plus 5. Once I get off here, hopefully it doesn't change. Plus 550 on Matt Wallace, top European player.
Let's throw a number out there.
Total. All right, yeah, let's do that, man. Let you lead off, and then I'll go one under your pick, and hopefully I win.
Yeah, well, so I mean,
that's going to be my new philosophy.
You and the price is right. But I was there 2 weeks ago. Last week I was shooting at 12, and we're looking good with Phil at 7 on going into Saturday, and it just the course just firmed up, and I know people
ended at 7, right? Didn't it end at 7 or?
It ended at 6.
Oh, that's right, because the last hole, he was ready to party.
Yeah, no, I mean, all good. So, I mean, this week, like I said, you look at 2 of the last 3 at 21, and you can see the potential for a good scoring. But then I've looked at the weather a little bit. Some winds are predicted here and there, gusts up to 18, 19.
On Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday's supposed to be. Is it still like that? I thought I read somewhere Thursday was going to be the wildest day.
It's like Thursday, Friday. They can't tell which one it's going to fall in between, but I'm gonna throw a number out there of 15. I'm gonna say that like Chris said, small greens but hittable greens. They're not they don't have a lot of false fronts, not undulating. They're able to hold the shots very well. So I like a number of that, an average of like 3-4 under a day. I think gets you to 15.
I call 17. I'm on 17. You're on 15. Chris, now give us the winner. We're probably both
worst bet of all time. I'll take 16.
Oh!
I'm going to sandwich myself right and nowhere to go.
I'm
standing on 16. Bet. All I want is 16.
He's 16 the spoon.
He's like, he's like, forget about the bread. I'm the meat. I'm eating this sandwich. Oh, Lord. All right, so you're up there. All right, so you're on there for 16.
Yep.
I'm at 17. You're at 15. It'll probably be 14, right? It all makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
But listen, it's going to be a ton of fun, man. I cannot wait. And like I said, I got some work to do after last weekend. Things definitely did not fall my way, so I'm looking for a big bounce back. And I'll tell you what, I think I even like Patrick Reed over Jordan Spieth. I think that's like my favorite one. The one that I'm more comfortable with for sure. We do have. They're talking about the old man bones. They love the old man bones.
Yeah.
He does though, man. I'll tell you what. He better hopes it don't rain, and bones are gonna be freaking.
Yo, I will throw one more out there, and I want to see what you guys think right before we get off. I know we're Abraham Spencer. Like, I really wanted to play him. I saw like every angle I wanted to play, and then I know he had the best round of the tournament on Sunday last week. Kind of gives him that like little momentum. I know Abraham's always there, but I couldn't find the right numbers for him to really dial him into my lineup. What did you guys consider him?
Yeah.
I did, but I'm afraid of the putting.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what took me off him. I'm like, man, I would dial him up, but do you trust him putting in this situation? And I'm not so sure. That's what kind of got me off answer.
Yeah, I couldn't, bogey avoidance, he was great. But, strokes gained and approach 33rd. Okay, but I don't know if that's tight enough to win this. Like, yeah, in the putting. Yeah. All right.
Who's his matchup on DraftKings?
Ooh, he might have.
Answer is. Oh,
was it Connors?
He's going to be up there.
I had it here.
Morikawa. Oh, yeah. No thanks.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I actually like Morikawa there at -134. Maybe I'll play that instead.
Yeah. It's a good name to throw out there, though, Dave. He's kind of in the same category for me, like a Scheffler, where every time you think he's coming up and going to do something special, he just kind of comes up short. So it's tough.
Yeah. Looks like Dave turned his camera off. He must be changing his glasses. Where you at? Come home, Dave. But
he might have gotten hit. There's some thunder around.
Yeah, you know what? There is
pretty good storm going on.
Yep, he's texting right now, man. If the computer died, he died. But at least we got the picks in. Listen, that's all we care about, right?
That's all we need.
Best of luck to everybody this weekend. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I'm at X_Drumheller. Dave is at @D_Gleck. Make sure we'll be throwing out some live bets if these things start going south on Thursday and Friday for sure. I'm not going to sit idle like I did last weekend and just watch everything go down in flames, but not going to happen anyway. Looking for a big bounce back. Make sure you like and subscribe. Heat Ratio Sports Network. We will be back on Saturday to talk about the NBA playoffs, but we'll be back again next Wednesday night to talk about, some more golf bets. So hopefully we'll be discussing lots of winners. So thank you guys for tuning in. Keep following us. Keep supporting us. We appreciate it.